Welcome to Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway in Bakersfield, California. Another week of Thursday night thunder action, and we get things going here at Kern Raceway with the fixed 358 Modifieds. Should be in for a good show once again, ladies and gentlemen, and we're so glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for all the action here tonight. I'm Marty Sakala, joined alongside Zach Chapman. Shaggy will be with you for all four races. I'll be with you for just the 358s and the big blocks. Zach, a tight racing here tonight at Kern Raceway. A little bit of a bull ring, slightly banked, but should provide us with some great action tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting action all night. I definitely expect people to get the elbows out. We're going to see a little of rubbins racing tonight, Marty. But, when we get to these smaller bull rings, it's kind of the only way to get things done. But, they do it as clean as they can, so we should be on for a good show.
Let's talk about the racing here so far this season. Point standings coming on in. It's been all Anthony Morano on this season. However, though, Blake Chapman last week showed a lot of speed in the Modify. Last week at Fallujah, he took home the 358 portion of the program. He is on the entry list for tonight, so looking forward to seeing how he performs.
Blake did an excellent job on the bottom last week at Volusia, and I'm sure we'll see the bottom come in here eventually at the end. I think we're going to see the top a little bit here in qualifying while there's still a lot of tack, but this track could roll into Blake's favor.
358's getting set to go here, brought to you by RSN Trackside. First lap set by Brandon Talbotton at a 14:43. This is Harold Klump, who then goes with a 14:41, much better lap for him. Logan Wentz third quick, 14:44. 2 minutes for qualifying for all the drivers as Kurt Schatzer takes it to the top at a 14:38. Let's see if Superman has a much better time on lap number 2. And he does not. Goes down to second after Anthony Morano posted a quick lap at a 14:34. How about that lap? Blake Chapman goes quick time. 14:327. 8 thousandths of a second better than Morano, Zach.
Yeah, and I didn't get to see the quick lap, but I'm watching him take laps now, and Blake did it on the bottom, so that just goes to show there's going to be two grooves here to start off right away. We're seeing different lines, different strokes for different folks here, Marty.
Michael Vecchio jumps up to 16th quick. And so with that being said, qualifying is in the books. So Blake Chapman, the quickest driver at a 14:327. We will have 3 heats this evening. And so the men that will be on pole position, let me just make sure I got this correct. Matt Schaefer, Jeff Barker, Randall Dixon for each of the heat races. And so we are ready to go for heat race number 1. First heat race of the night brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Here's a look at the starting lineup. Matt Schaefer on pole position in the number 183. Next to him, it's Sam Bachman in the 107. Row number 2, Harold Klump driving the 555. Next to him, it's the salesman Blake Chapman in car number 20. Row number 3, Dan McLaren in the number 88. And next to him, Michael Vecchio in the 007. Rounding out the field is Butters, Jason Butterfield in car number 93. Want to give a big congratulations to Jason's son, Jason Jr., who I see at the racetrack from time to time. Jason's son got offered earlier today, was announced earlier today, a photographer position at Dirt Track Digest, working Brewerton Speedway on Friday night. So congrats to Butters Jr. on getting that done.
Yeah, congrats, man. That's awesome. Love to see the Coast to Coast family expand, throughout the dirt racing in real life. It's really neat to see.
Especially even getting real jobs in the racing world.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's neat to see us branch out in all these different ways, and hopefully much more get there.
All right, Schaefer and Bachman, the front row, winner on pole position for tonight's 30-lap feature. 6-lap heat race number 1 is underway. Bachman gets the jump on Schaefer. Remember, fixed setups for the 358s on Thursday night. Still side by side. Bachman leads lap number 1. Schaefer second. Blake Chapman third. Harold Klum fourth. 19 drivers make up the car count. So everybody makes the show this evening. You still got the salesman trying to take the runner-up spot here from Matt Schaefer's out.
No, yeah, and Matt Schaefer, he went up to the high side, I think, to maybe shut the door on Blake, and then as soon as in 1 and 2, he saw Blake go to the bottom. He shut the door in 3 and 4, and then did it again there in 1 and 2. So he's going pretty defensive. Blake's going to have to try to find an odd way around here through 1 and 2.
Michael Vecchio, Jason Butterfield are racing for the 5th position. Butters gets put up in the wall, and the 007 takes it away. Hey, real quick, we did see Dan McLaren crash and pull it into the pits. Let's take a look real quick at what happened coming to the green flag. I just got on the binders and just completely lost it. That's very strange to see out of McLaren. As we're on the final lap of heat race number 1 with Sam Bachman out in front. Schaefer and Chapman racing for second down the back straight for the final time in this heat race. Who will start 4th tonight? And it'll be Matt Schaefer, but Sam Bachman wins heat race number 1. Chapman 3rd, Klump 4th, Vecchio 5th, Butterfield 6th, and McLaren 7th. So that does it for our first heat race of the night. We now move on to heat 2, brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports, and this is how the drivers line up. Jeff Barker on pole position, the Brewer to beats the 513. Next to him, Logan Wentz in the 118. Row number 2, it's speed time. Brandon Templeton in the 31 and Anthony Morano in car 32. Row number 3, Glenn Sharp in car number 99 and Michael Vitale in the 213. Let's know who you're rooting for in the chat. Got about 10 viewers watching already on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday night of action.
Gonna keep my eye out on that 32 here. Blake was only able to pick up 1 spot, and Blake was even one at the bottom here. Anthony, he's gonna want the bottom too. We're gonna have to see if he can have any more luck than Blake. But man, it's so hard to pass here, Marty.
As the track starts to slicking in, it's all about the track position. Winner starts on the outside of row number 1 for tonight's feature. Jeff Barker and Logan Wentz set to bring us to green. Here we go. Good jump from Logan Wentz. Barker racing Morano for the 2nd position. You want to be right next to this cushion in the heat races. All will depend once we get into the features. Lap 1 led by Logan Wentz. Morano looking for 2nd as Templeton and Vitale race for 4th here, Zach.
Yeah, if you're Morano, you want to be smart because that's your teammate passing for the lead. But at the same time, if he jumps that cushion again, I bet you that 32 is going to think about making it 3 wide because he knows it's go time. You got to pass. Oh, Barker on the apron.
He caught the berm there in turn number 1, and that cost him a lot of time and falls back to the 4th position. Vitale now races the 513 for 4th, but it's Logan Wentz pulling away from everything. Quickest lap at a 14:44 is we're halfway home, Zach.
And, this is a little surprising. I kind of expected the 32 to reel him in a little bit, but that 18 of Logan Wentz really setting the pace out front, as you say. Fastest car again that time around by 1/10 of a second, so he is just off to the races.
Good race again for 2nd between Morano and Templeton. Beat down, peeking downstairs.
He's got one more set of corners to do it here. Final time 2, 3, and 4.
Well, you know who's going to win this heat race. It's Logan Wentz coming for 3rd of the line. Morano gets Templeton in a photo finish for 4th. Vitale beats out Barker, Sharp 6th, but it's Logan Wentz that wins heat race number 2. Final heat race set to go, brought to you by our friends at the Glen Ridge Motorsports Park, who open up this Sunday. Don't want to miss out on that for sure. Randall Dixon on pole position. In the 011 next to him, it's Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row number 2 with virtual reality for the first time ever. Isaac Salas in car number 5, and he's probably blown away by it. Next to him, Superman Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Row number 3 rounded out the field. Bob D. Good in the 7 and Pat Boyce in the 41.
We should have had a driver camera on him tonight just in case.
We thought about it, actually. I forgot. I keep forgetting that the races on 358s begin at 6:45 and not 7. We may do it for the big block race. I'll have to check with him.
His face might be green by then.
Green flag, green flag.
All right, green flag is out here for heat race number 3 underway. Dino comes out with a good start. Here's Kurt Schatzer looking for second on the 011 and a photo finish at the line. Way too close to call, but both of them go up the hill. Could give Salas an opportunity to strike for second.
Yeah, and I think Isaac needs to get up high. We saw it work for Brandon and Blake in the first race. You can run the bottom one.
Wonder how that had to feel in VR, but what a save for Slide Job as he tries to slide job Randall Dixon. The two drivers are racing neck and tooth at the moment for third.
I can't believe both drivers didn't pay for that. No harm, no foul. Swap the spots and keep on rolling. We got 3 to go.
Kurt Schatzer, though, looks like he's starting to close in on Dino just a bit for this race lead.
Yeah, one thing to catch a guy, another thing to pass him, and Dean's going to make that car awful wide. There he's going to experiment with the slider line in 1 and 2, and maybe going to float it up a little too high. Kurt's going to get another good run on it.
Final lap underway in this heat. Dean gets a little bit tight in turn number 2. Schatzer with an opportunity to take the win. Let's see what happens. Different grooves. Reynolds keeps it up top. Schatzer stays at the bottom. And Dino wins heat race number 3. Salas 3rd. Dixon 4th. Boyce 5th. And D. Good 6th. We'll step away here for warm-ups. When we come back, feature time. Stay with us, the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-ups continue here at Kern Raceway, and right now it's Brandon Talbotton the quickest at a 14:54 with Anthony Morano second, Kurt Schatzer third, Sam Bachman fourth, and Dean Reynolds fifth. Hello to Megan checking in. Very excited to see Dino win heat race number 3. Hey, remember, Dean and I still got a rivalry going on in the AHL. I think it's tomorrow. His Crunch play my Amerks in Game 5 at Blue Cross Arena, winner take all.
I love the American Hockey League. So much so that, you know, I'm a pretty diehard Penguins fan, have been my whole life. But the thing I love about AHL, you know, Marty, you probably know too, that AHL teams, they don't just have players for the big boy club. You know, they can sign players to their own team. And I've always rooted for the Hershey Bears because I'm close to Hershey, and they're quite a successful AHL team. So either one of you guys are going to meet up with Hershey in the next round.
AHL is underrated, and I know the Amerks want revenge off of last year against the Hershey Bears when, like, very little penalties were given out to Hershey or something like that. Anyway, featured time at Kern. Time to meet the field and give you your RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, it's Sam Bachman in the 107, next to Anthony Morano in the 32. Row number 2, Dean Reynolds in car number 79, and Matt Schaefer in the 183. Row 3, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31, and Superman, Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Row 4, the Salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20, and Michael Vitale in the 213. Rounding out the top 10 at Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 5, and Harold Klump for the 555. Row number 6, the Brew to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and Randall Dixon in the 011. Row 7, Michael Vecchio in the 007, and Glenn Sharp in the 099. Row 8, Pat Boyce in the 41, and Butters, Jason Butterfield in the 93. Running up the grid this evening, Bob D. Good in the 7, Logan Wentz in the 118, and Dan McLaren in the 88. All right, let's get some picks to win here. Who you got tonight, Zach?
Man, that 32 sitting on the front row, that's a free treat right there. I'm gonna have to take that 32.
I'm gonna go with Dino in the 79 tonight.
It's gonna be anybody's race tonight because you know, this sounds greedy, Marty, but the drivers want the whole track. You know as well as I do, it really thins out coming out of the corner. It just tightens up real quick, and the guys on the bottom are going to want to float up on exit, and the guys up top are going to want to enter the corner on the bottom middle. So it's going to be a fight for territory here going off into turn 1.
Set to go for the Lucy Olson start. Sam Bachman, Anthony Morano set to bring us to green. First feature on a Thursday night. About to go down. Let's get it on.
Matt Schaefer was ready to get that thing going. He gave Anthony Morano a bump going down the front stretch, and man, that really helped him hang with Sam Bachman, and he might take the line here, or take the lead at the line.
Anthony Morano leads lap number 1. No yaw from Kurt Schatzer into turn number 1. Nearly took out Dean Reynolds, but still door to door for the race lead. Morano has into turn number 3. Meanwhile, I think we were nearly just 3 wide, if not 4 wide, and Dean hangs on to the 3rd spot for right now. Morano a little bit too high. Here comes Bachman, tries to pull up to the quarter panel for the race lead. Reynolds has a chance at P2, Zach.
Yeah, Dean's getting a good run on the bottom. It's just so hard to make it work coming off 3 and 4, but he did a good job of being easy on the throttle, made it stick, and it was straight. He's coming.
You've got Reynolds underneath Bachman for 2nd, and then Templeton underneath Schaefer for the 4th position. A lot of good action early here at Kern Raceway. Nice defense by the 007 as Bachman hangs on to P2. Schaefer a little bit tight. Templeton through to 4th. Here comes Schatzer with a run for 5th on the 83. I don't know what happened to Schaefer, though. They're a very strange situation there, Zach.
Oh, and Kurt maybe got into Schaefer there coming out of 4, and Schaefer got in the wall again. A tough break. He's lost a couple more spots, but yeah, I'm not sure what caused that initial slow, but look at that battle for the lead. We got the 79 going for it.
Reynolds with a chance on Morano for the top spot as we're through 6 laps. The bite working really well for the 79. Can Dean maybe secure it at the start-finish line? Morano's always good off at turn number 4. Reynolds good off for 2. New leader, I believe it, Dino. Way too close to call. Get the Kentucky Derby finish out.
Yeah, it looks like, according to iRacing, Dino had him at the line, and he just gets such a good run out of 1 and 2 that it makes up for the bad run that he gets out of 3 and 4. Almost able to shut the door on Morano, and man, we got a new leader.
He's got a great car on the long run, that's for sure. Battle breaking out for third. Crisscross now by Morano as he tries to take the lead back. Thinks about diving in 3 and 4. Dino still hasn't cleared and now knows that Morano wants the bottom, so Reynolds going to try and play defense on his full throttle teammate.
Yeah, if I was sitting in that car with Dino, I would have grabbed him by the head and said, "What are you doing, man?" When he went up there up high, he was quick on the bottom. Stay down there. Make that 32 go by you on the high side. You know how much he loves that bottom, and if he gave it up, stay there and take it away.
Front of the field, all pretty much single file. Now, as I say that, Brandon Templeton low and Sam Bachman upstairs. Let's see if the 007 can get a run. Let's take a look at the 5-lap average. See who's got the best race car on track. It's that 79 pulling away. However, though, we're going to have to rack them, stack them back up. First yellow flies for Pat Boyce and Logan Wentz. Look at the cause of caution. Ooh, that's a heavy leg off the 118. Boyce lost the right front there for just a moment.
Yeah, and you know, that started the previous lap in 3 and 4. They got into it a little bit, went down the front stretch, and then got into it again in 1 and 2. So those guys will probably have some words for each other later, I'd imagine.
Zach, have you ever tried driving a UMP modified on the mini oval of Kern County?
Oh, it's so much fun. You're just burping the throttle the whole way around, just kissing it sideways. It is a blast.
My buddies on the Tuesday night side of things, I think like normally every Saturday nights during the off season, we'll all just do like random stuff. And I think we did a UMP at Kern Mini, and like so many people left because they just couldn't drive it, but it's just so much fun.
Yeah, those UMPs, they're definitely a frustrating thing to learn, but man, once you get the hang of them, they're a blast. But Green is out, an excellent jump for Dean Reynolds out there.
That's one of the poorer restarts I've seen out of the 32. However, though, hangs on to the second position. Bachman back in third and 3 wide for fourth, and we're back to yellow once again. And more trouble for Logan Wentz, and this time Glenn Sharp is a part of it. Wentz was in the back of the field here, so I don't know what happened. Immediately passes Pat Boyce on the inside. Now that's illegal. So to pass the outside, Wentz just sent it way too deep in the 99.
Yeah, you know, we've said it before. Sometimes when you get involved in an accident, you drive with that red mist, and I think he's just overdrove corner entry a little bit, and, you know, it's going to happen sometimes, but tough break for Glenn Sharp, who gets caught up in it.
It sounded like as well that Sharp was on the brakes going into turn number 1. And are you normally on the brakes here with the modified at Kern Raceway, or are you really just lifting off more?
Some of the guys might drag it for corner entry a little bit, hook up the right front. That way, you know, you don't get it sideways when you get in the brakes. And, you know, some people, let's just be honest, aren't all on the same skill level. And Logan really shouldn't be at the back of the field, but that mishap put him back there. And he's just driving too aggressive, trying to come back to the front.
Been a poor race tonight so far for Logan Wentz. Alrighty. Reynolds fires once again. Better restart from Morano from the looks of it. The 007 trying to challenge underneath for second. 3 wide for Remote with Solis in the middle. That was for 6 for Blake Chapman. More trouble again. Bob D. Good, Dan McLaren, Glenn Sharp. No yellow. We stay under the green flag. Not going to be a lot of time, though, for the leaders to approach lap traffic. Meanwhile, Bachman's got second. More trouble behind them. And everybody's saving a turn 1 calamity corner. Harrow Klum, Michael Vitale, Randall Dixon, everyone all stacked up. 3 wide once more for 6. This is wild. Brandon Templeton, Isaac Solis, and Matt Schaefer.
Well, now Dino's got a lapper re-entering right up in front of him. He's able to go high, but that's really going to mess up his entry into turn 3. Will it affect his exit? Doesn't look like too much, but Samuel Bachman able to reel him in a little bit more that lap.
They mess up a lot of drivers here with all those accidents that led to no yellows. Breaking out here. Schatzer now wants a podium spot from the 32 of Morano. We'll see if he can get it off at turn 4. They just about touched it. I think Morano had the sleight of hand.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing it's weird we're saying the 32 struggling as he's been running in 3rd, 4th place, but he is to his standards. He normally likes the bottom, but he is staying committed to that high side. We're going to have to see him change lines soon.
Battle for the lead, battle for 3rd. Morano nearly in the wall, right next to the thin cushion. This could give the 218 an opportunity to take away 3rd.
You said it, though. The battle is heating up front. Samuel Bachman, he runs that high side in turns 3 and 4. Gets a big run on Dino, and I mean, he can almost smell what Dino ate for dinner when they go into turn 1 and 2. Dean's got to make that thing real wide.
Look at the 5-lap average, though. Bachman clearly the better car than Dean Reynolds at the moment, and we've got 10 laps of racing to go. Bachman's got a lot of time to set his move up. He tries to go top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Reynolds shuts the door, 9 laps to go, and now the 107 looks underneath with lap traffic approaching.
Yeah, not able to peek it under, but Dean got the memo. He's going to go up high at 3 and 4, going to shut that off, and now he carries the big run, but now you see he carried more speed into 1 and 2 than he's used to. He floated up in the middle, but Bachman can't get under there, but if Dino's going to run the high side, he's going to have to adjust how he's been lifting in 1 and 2.
Leaders approaching. Pat Boyce and Bob DeGood with 7 laps to go. Oh boy, we had a good feature Monday night with the open 358s at I-55. We had a good feature last week with the 358s at Fallujah. This could be a dandy once again. 6 laps to go. Reynolds clears Pat Boyce. Bachman lost some time there to the 79 and is having issues getting past the 41.
Couldn't have went any better for Dino there. Able to clear him at the perfect time. He could drop down in 1 and 2, whereas Sam, he had to enter up high. He's going to have to make that up, and it's not going to be easy, but he's going to go back up to the high side there, throw it in, try to get big runs down the backstretch, but it's just not working like it is.
Both drivers up top while DeGood focuses underneath. 4 laps remaining. Full throttle teammates duking it out for the win. Reynolds gets tight. I don't think he expected DeGood to go that low. Thought he for a moment he was going to stay high so he could let the 79 through.
Yeah, and this is where Dean's going to have to. Oh,
DeGood
Bob's going to
pulls
get
off.
out of the way here.
Let the 2 race for the win amongst themselves. Reynolds or Bachman, make your bets right now. 2-6 up in the air this time, 2 laps to go.
Yeah, and Dean's well respected with his teammates, but I'll tell you what, everybody wants to win. Samuel's going to throw everything he's got here these last 2 laps.
No lap traffic for the top 2 to deal with. It's clean air the rest of the way for the 79 and the 107. We're on the final lap. Who's going to take this one? Reynolds plays defense down in 1 and 2 in front of the 107. Bachman needs a Hail Mary into turn 3 for the final time. Follows the 79 Super Dirt Car Series ride. Dino back in victory lane once again.
Big win for Dino and good run for Full Throttle Motorsports, taking the top 2 steps to the podium. And man, where did the salesman come from? He stole 3rd place, Marty.
Up 4 spots to finish 3rd. Dean Reynolds, though, 2nd win of the season, won at Lucas Oil Speedway on April 18th. Biggest mover tonight is Jason Butterfield, up 7. So Megan may be partying a little bit early tonight, that's for sure. Reynolds wins, Bachman 2nd, Blake Chapman 3rd, Morano 4th, and Schatzer finishes 5th. As I mentioned, Butters, the hard charger of the race. Logan Wentz able to improve after the spin to finish in the 12th position. Tough race for guys like Harold Klump and Randall Dixon. And so that is how the field looks tonight. Well, we'll begin things off here with our 3rd place finisher in the salesman in Blake Chapman. Blake, nice run for you, man. Talk me through your strategy throughout the race, what you were trying to do.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to take it easy and stay out of trouble for the beginning of that race and kind of find a line that was comfortable, and was able to do that. There's a lot of checking up going on, and at this track you get really tight racing, and then finally got a line that I was pretty comfortable with, but I couldn't get around Kurt, so I had to try everything that I could. Eventually I went up top and I knew if I got a run on him up there that he'd move up and take my line away, and that's what happened. So I was able to go low and get past him, and then yeah, once I had that thing dialed up in that middle area there, it was pretty quick.
Was dirty air a factor as well at the same time?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you get back there with those guys and you're just running so tight. You can only have so much room on this track versus the guys that are out front running their own lines. So you can only do so much when you're in the pack, and those top guys kind of just ran away from us.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
I got to thank the family for watching. I got to thank all the guys at the Kreitzum Racing Team and the Can-Am Racing Team. Got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps, Andy at A&J Custom Creations. Got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You guys know it's some of the best stuff out there. You can head over to their website, and don't forget to use code CART at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. And I got to thank you guys for putting this on.
What's the new flavor at Galen's? Come on. Come on.
I believe Zach said it was barbecue flavor.
I was going to say it. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, all right, Blake, we'll let you go. Great job tonight, and best of luck in the big blocks.
Thank you.
Man, I thought for a moment we were going to see Dean pop in the chat just so we can hear the Galens like last week. All right, second place finisher is Sam Bachman. We'll let Zach take this one.
Hey, Sam, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, hey, man, started P1. Probably not where you wanted to finish, but, finishing second to a fellow full-throttle teammate tonight, you can't be too upset with that, can you?
No, we were definitely trying to go for the 1, 2, 3, but I guess we'll take the 1, 2. One of these weeks we'll get the sweep or whatever. But I mean, good race to Dean. He did what he had to do, and good race to Blake back there. I seen him coming. He was charging, and it was a good race. Track was real racy, whole race to be honest, and only I think 2 yellows or something like that. 3 wasn't bad.
No, definitely not for this bullring track. But, going back there to the first couple laps, were you and Anthony kind of surprised at the way Dean was able to hook up the bottom like that?
Yeah, I didn't expect the bottom to be that hooked right off the get-go, but he just drove right away from us, and then I finally got down there in 1 and 2, and I felt it. I was like, wow, it's really hooked down here, and I just set her down there, and I felt 3 and 4. It was a little more better up top, and I started reeling in Dean a little bit, but he ended up seeing me coming, and I mean, he did what he had to do, and hats off to him.
Yeah, you said it. He saw you coming. He shut the door. He did what he had to do. But all in all, man, good run. P2 tonight. You got anybody you want to thank?
Oh, yeah, all the guys over at FTM, Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop, and you guys for putting this all on for us.
Well, awesome job tonight, Sam. Hopefully we talk to you again here after the big block race.
Thank you.
So Sam Bachman finishing in the runner-up position. Let's go to victory lane, bringing your winner. Dino, hell of a win tonight, man. That was not easy in those final laps.
Marty picked you to win. Marty picked you to win.
So the announcer jinx didn't set in. Good deal.
It did not.
No, I found the bottom in 1 and 2. I knew the bottom was going to come in, and I just found it before Sam and Anthony did. And of course, Anthony got in the wall a little bit going into 3 there, and then enabled me to get some momentum on them. And then, and I had a big lead before that yellow came out. I was looking down at my relative, and I'm like, God, I think I could coast here. And then when we had the restart there in lap 12, Sam got in second, and I had like a 0.6 lead on the relative. And then all of a sudden I noticed like 2 laps later, it was 0.3. And I actually peeked in my mirror and I go, oh, God, that guy's running the top in 3 and 4. And when I saw that, I moved up top 3 and 4. And then, then it was all about just not making a mistake on 1 and 2 and sliding up high because, if I felt I didn't make a mistake, Sam's going to race you clean. And I thought I could hang on. And, I don't like racing Kern. It's tough, especially if you're in a pack. But for some reason, though, when I'm by myself, I can actually get in a groove here. So it just worked out.
How did you feel about your car on the bottom? Looked like a lot of drivers were preferring the top, but how did you like your car, though, downstairs?
I pulled my inner Anthony Morano out. I was trailing the brake and running the bottom, and I very rarely do that, and I'm not even good at doing it, but that's what I was doing right here, and it just felt good, and you get the car straight coming off so you can get on the gas early, and it felt good. I mean, it felt like, the only other time I felt that comfortable running the bottom is the last time I won at Williams Grove with a 358. I run it running the bottom there too, and it was kind of the same theory. And I got in a groove, and it just felt comfortable. So it's unusual for me because I do like to run the top almost everywhere. But Kern is a tricky track, and you just got to do what it gives you.
You expecting the same thing for the big blocks coming up, or what are you expecting?
Yeah, it was funny though. We're all talking in the Discord of what car to take between big block and 358, and the old adage says you never turn down horsepower. That's what they say. So I'm going to go big block, but Anthony said he was going to go 358, and it all depends how the track state runs in. We're going to have a lot less warm up, so we're going to have more bite, and we just got to see how it develops. But the big blocks here though, you're going to have a little bit more of an interesting race because you got the power and a potential of a few more things happening.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to say thanks to the guys from Full Throttle Motorsports, of course. A great team to be a part of, and we're proud to have a lot of cars here in Coast to Coast. Can't forget my buddies over at Team Venom. I still get in their Discord quite a bit and enjoy times with them. Got to thank Marty and you and Shaggy for doing the telecast. It's always good to have a telecast. So friends like my dad's watching and Megan's watching, and it's good to get well wishes from them. So I got to thank you and thank Coast to Coast for a place to race, and also got to thank the associate sponsors of FTM, GripHack.com, Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, and all the others that are on the cars, Super Car Series and all.
What's Isaac think about the VR system? Have you talked with him about it yet?
No, I wasn't in his Discord, so I was in the FTM's. And I noticed that he was connecting and disconnecting. I did mic up and joked around and said, you should spend more money on your rig and not deal with this Walmart stuff. But he didn't reply. So I know people that have VRs, when they start, they'll have issues with them with connections and stuff. And I think that's what's happening. But, guys that get used to VR, I'm not really worried about Isaac Salas. I think he's going to be back on top here in no time.
For sure. All right, man, we'll let you go. Great win. Congrats, man.
All right, guys, thank you, and maybe a little luck. We'll talk to you again.
Sounds good. Dean Reynolds gets it done here tonight at Kern Raceway. We'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, the big block's ready to take shape. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat. Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
We're back here at Kern Raceway for another edition of Thursday Night Thunder. Big block set to roll here. Glad you could join us here once again. Marty Zakala alongside Zach Chapman. Zach, nice race that we saw in the 358s. What are we expecting for the big blocks coming on up here?
Well, I'm expecting a little variation, I guess. I never really thought that was a possibility until Dean brought it up that guys would consider leaving the small block out and keeping the big block in the trailer tonight. And looking at lap times, if Anthony is running the small block, he's just as competitive as those other guys right now, and the track's only going to wear out worse and worse as we go on. So might be a benefit to be running that smaller motor tonight.
Possibly. Dylan Kinsey, currently the quickest driver on track at a 13.547. 4 thousandths better than Matt Schaefer at the moment. 16 drivers make up the car count as of right now. Why don't we take a look at the point standings going on into this race. Anthony Morano up 27 on Blake Chapman. Chapman, though, with more wins on the season, so when you look at the drops, he could have the advantage in points possibly. So right now, this is pretty much a neck and tooth battle between the salesman and Morano.
No, we've seen, Anthony kind of has that 358 points locked down. Hasn't finished outside of the top 5 all season, kept that rolling along tonight, but we've seen a lot more variation in the big blocks. It's a lot more throttle control, and with the more power in the motor, you can run different lines if you're responsible with that throttle. You see different guys prevail. We've been talking guys like Jeff Barker have really been excelling in this car too, and I look for him to keep that rolling tonight. Did just click at 7:30, so I imagine we're just. Yep, Just waiting for a couple guys maybe, and then it should be rolling here. But stick with us.
See who's
For sure.
checking in right now. We've got Dylan Kinsey rooting for Full Throttle Motorsports. Megan very excited to see Dean get that one done. Kim's also excited, and same with Gramps, also known as Mark. So it should be going here in just a moment.
Yeah, keep it PG, Megan. But what is you got to let us know what Dean's real prize is for winning the feature.
Now, what if he sweeps the modifieds? That's what I want to know.
Oh man, I don't think we can say that on air.
I don't think you could either. Looking at some other drivers here on track. Brandon Templeton currently 7 quick at a 13.79. So that tells me we're probably waiting on one more guy to get in, and then we'll be going. Seen a lot of drivers try out different lanes. Templeton working the bottom. Guy in front of him, I believe that is Dean once again. He's shifted back up to the top. Let's talk about what's coming up here as well for the rest of the night here on Coast to Coast. Zach will be taking you the entire way here tonight with action of the late models at Kern Raceway. And then we've got our Xfinity Series trail taking place later tonight at Darlington. Next week for Thursday Night Thunder, we'll be at Zach's place, Lincoln Speedway, for action. Zach, how were the Outlaws last night? You go?
Oh yeah, what a show that was. I mean, David Gravel flagged a flag, but a lot of guys complaining, saying you couldn't pass. I think Danny Dietrich passed 12 guys in the feature to get his way up into the top 10. He had a terrible qualifying effort. You could definitely pass, but man, it was a racy track. We had got a lot of rain here on Tuesday, so man, it was it led for good racing for sure. But saw some flips. Bill Rose got caught on fire, but he ended up he was okay. Thank God for that. But he took a nasty one in turn 4, but very good race all in all.
Good, good. I was watching STSS run down. I was watching them on Flow last night when I got done with my show, and that looked like that was a good 50-lap feature for sure. Did you hear about High Limit?
Yeah, canceling the race next week.
In Fonda, yeah, that's unfortunate to hear about that going on. But hey,
is there
least,
any rumor as to why? Like what the safety thing was?
I'll tell you afterwards. I will tell you this though: we still got Outlaw and Utica Rome going, so that'll be good. New York still has 2 shows going on Thursday and Friday. Unfortunately, no races on the weekend, but hey, it's gonna be a lot of fun regardless. It's 410 sprints coming to New York, the most talked about dirt race in town. You got to go out to it, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, New York, you're close enough. You're going to draw some of those PA Posse boys, so you'll get a good show up there.
Oh, yeah. All right, hot laps, or qualifying, I should say, underway. We'll watch Brandon Templeton make his way on the racetrack. Again, 2 minutes of qualifying for all the drivers here. So Templeton will set the bar here on lap number 1. He goes 14.51. Now, who beats that? Bob DeGood does at a 14.43. One more lap here for Brandon Templeton to cross the lines at a better lap. It is 14.24 for B-Temp. As he goes the quickest. Morano moves up to second, 14.36 on lap number 2. Dean Reynolds 5th quick. Let's go to Isaac Salas, 9th quick on lap 1 at a 14.67. Blake Chapman 2nd quick on lap number 1, 14.27, the quickest of anyone in sector number 1. He could be looking at a pole lap. If this is in the purple, it's not. So a slow little lap for the salesman at a 14.3. And so right now, this puts Matt Schaefer, Isaac Salas, and Sam Bachman on pole, and it will put them on pole for each of the 3 heats. But it's Brandon Templeton beat Temp, the quickest driver, with a 14:24 in qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a track we saw in the small blocks. I mean, going to be different motor variations here, but you did not want to have to start in the middle of the pack in the heat. It was so hard to pass. So definitely saw, I bet, some gamesmanship there trying to play for that front row.
All right, so we're set for our first heat race, which is brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Here's the starting lineup for heat number 1. Matt Schaefer on pole position in the 183 next to Michael Vitale in the 213. Row number 2, Bob DeGood in the 7 and Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row number 3, Pat Boyce in the 41 and Harold Klump in the 555. Isn't that the second time that Schaefer's been on pole tonight?
Yeah, it is. And he's
In the same heat,
figuring
too.
it out. Yeah, I believe it was heat 1, yeah, and Sam Bachman just got the better jump on him on the start, and he wasn't able to hold on to it. He's going to have to see if he can change his fate here.
Field is rolling here. Once again, if you have just joined us, welcome to Thursday Night Thunder here at Lincoln Speedway. Let us know, at Kern Raceway, let us know who you're rooting for. Zach went to Lincoln Speedway last night, so force of habit.
Yeah, and we're going there next week, so
Nice.
we're just thinking of ahead to all the excitement.
So we're set for the green flag. Winner on pole for tonight's feature.
Green flag.
Schaefer and Vitale bring us to green. We're underway.
Schaefer with
Gets a good jump.
Yeah, Schaefer with a perfect turns 1 and 2. You couldn't draw that up any better. Held the bottom, got good acceleration, and easily the leader.
Already through a lap, the field all pretty much scattered away. Vitale pushes up. Templeton wide open for a second, and the 2 net code. But Templeton finds his way through, nearly yaws up in front of the 213, and Vitale hangs on for P2, Zach.
Yeah, not for long though. Brandon Templeton, that we saw it in the small blocks. Just excellent runs on the bottom through 1 and 2. You can get on the bottom, and there in the big blocks, so much more power with all that tack on the bottom. That's where you want to be, I think. And we saw Matt Schaefer experiment with the high side in 1 and 2 last lap, right back down to the bottom.
Halfway home in heat race number 1. Schaefer still leading. Then it's Templeton, Vitale, DeGood, Klump, and Boyce. Everyone makes the feature. No B main tonight.
Yeah, we saw how much those starting spots mean, though, for the feature, Marty. They mean everything, and Templeton's already up 2 spots, and you see him. He wants that 3rd spot. He wants to finish P1.
He wants it badly by getting up on the berm in 3 and 4, but it's Matt Schaefer in the 183 that's out in front. Makes his way through 3 and 4. Templeton trying topside. Nothing working. Schaefer wins heat 1 and is on pole. Templeton 2nd, Vitale 3rd, DeGood 4th, Klump 5th, and Boyce 6th.
Man, that 31 was really bouncing coming out of 4. He gave that thing all it could handle there.
Let's go to Heat 2, brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. Slide Jobs on pole tonight. Isaac Salas of the 5 with the VR goggles. Next to him is the Bird to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row number 2, it's Dean Reynolds in the 79. Next to him, the salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20. Row number 3, rounding out the grid tonight, Scott Rayome in the 444. And Butters, Jason Butterfield in the 93. This is a Full Throttle Motorsports KSR versus Venom / Karts show. I think that's the team that Barker's on. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he teams up with Bob DeGood. I can't remember
Yeah,
the
that's
team
Can-Am
name,
Racing team. That's
Yeah,
MM
okay.
Racing.
Dino confuses me in that whiteout machine. I thought that
I
was
know,
Blake
right?
on the bottom for a second.
Me too. I'm normally used to seeing purple and black, but tonight it's white and gray. I don't know. Whoever paints those schemes for Dino does a good job. I think it's Lawson that does it.
Yeah, they do. They do an excellent job on his paints, and we know how picky Dean is. He always wants new paints, so he keeps Lawson busy.
All right, ready to go to green here for heat race number 2. Winner starts outside row 1 next to Schaefer. We're green.
Tough break for Barker on the outside. Dean's looking to capitalize already up to P2.
Stacked up the entire outside lane, and he's down to 3rd. Reynolds up to 2nd. Chapman wants 4th. Now he wants 3rd off of Barker. Lap 1 led by Salas, but may have just got a bumper from Dean Reynolds. Pushes up. Barker looking for an opportunity to strike for the 2nd spot.
He definitely did. He got over that berm in 3 and 4 and lost it a little bit coming out, and Dean was ready to roll. He didn't lift, got into the back of the 5. Almost cost him P2, but able to hold on, and man, that 5 car can't breathe right now.
Look at Blake Chapman. Hole open up for him inside turn 2 to move up to the bottom step of the podium. Now wants 2nd away from Dino. That could help out Salas pull away. Who was the quickest driver last time? It was Chapman at a 14:49 as we're halfway home.
Yeah, and he did that all while looking uncomfortable there on the bottom of 3 and 4. He did it again. That must be what he wants to do. He's hiking that left front tire up over that berm. It's helping him angle that corner off, and man, he is quick.
Everybody bouncing around here throughout Kern Raceway. That just shows you how slick the track is starting to get. Coming to 1 lap to go here with Salas still out in front. It's still Chapman and Reynolds door to door for 2nd. Quickest driver last time by was the salesman. He's able to clear the 79, but it's Salas out in front of that Fenner right. Oh, but he caught the berm. Chapman with a chance off for turn 4. Side by side. Chapman, I think, stole it.
Blake stole it at the line.
The salesman just committed petty larceny. Oh, baby. Let's go to break. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Wait, we got one more heat.
One more heat. That's right. Heat 3 brought to you by Glenridge Motorsports Park. Sam Bachman and Randall Dixon on the front row. Row number 2, Dylan Kinsey and Anthony Morano. Row number 3, Logan Wentz and Michael Vecchio. Since we have time, let's watch how close that finish was once again, folks. Man, can you say tight? I know if the 2 did not touch, in my opinion, Zach, Salas wins that race.
Yeah, it would have been close, but man, that 5 car, he's got nobody to blame but himself, and I'm sure he's beating himself up pretty bad right now. He knows how hard it's going to be to pass in this feature, and he could have just started this thing in P2.
All right, Bachman and Dixon ready to bring us to the green flag for heat race number 3.
Green flag, green flag.
Poor start for Bachman. Dixon able to pull away immediately. Morano won the 2 spot off for turn number 2. See if he can get it. Bachman trying to hug the berm and ride it barely. However, though, hangs on a 2nd over Morano as Dixon leads lap 1.
Yeah, we've seen every guy on the bottom struggle on starts here tonight. You got to wonder if maybe these big blocks just have a little bit too much power for that short straightaway. Maybe there's a little bit of tack there, but man, it's tough to get that bottom
Whoa,
going.
hang on, Dylan Kinsey. Nice save there. He got the back of Morano, lost a lot of time and lost a spot to Logan Wentz. Back up front for the race lead. Here comes Bachman looking to go to the points. We're halfway home.
Yeah, but don't look now. Not too far behind him is that 32, and he's been running like Blake Chapman was. He was going down. He's getting that left front. Yeah, you see it right on the berm. He's getting it all. One mistake by either of those 2 drivers up front, and he's right there.
2 laps to go, coming to 1 to green this time by. Still Dixon out in front of Bachman. Morano could strike. Ooh, nearly had a chance to look 3 wide off for turn number 2. Still side by side down the back. Could be a carbon copy of the finish back in heat race number 2. Bachman, Dixon! Oh, Bachman! By 0.02 of a second!
The racing just keeps getting better and better and better.
Carbon copy! I told ya! Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-ups continuing here at Kern Raceway. Morano currently the quickest by 0.08 on Brandon Templeton. Hey folks, just a reminder, if you're watching on Slide Job Racing Network, after this feature we will be going off to continue our coverage of Thursday Night Thunder. Zach Chapman, Shaggy TV, excuse me, we'll have the broadcast set for you for the late models and the Xfinity Tour exclusively on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Here's the schedule real quick for what is coming up next week for week number 10. Monday Night Madness at, Monday Night Madness at Lernerville with the Open 358s, Rebels and Renegades begins at 7 p.m. Wednesday night, Hometown Heroes with micro sprints and 305s and 360s at Kokomo, followed by the Truck Trail at Charlotte. That begins at 7 p.m. Then Thursday night Thunder at Lincoln beginning at 6:45. All right, time to meet the grid for tonight's feature. Let's give you a look at our starting lineup. Starting lineup brought to you by RSN Trackside. On the pole position, it's Matt Schaefer in the 183. Next to him, the salesman, Blake Chapman, in car number 20. Row number 2, Sam Bachman in the 107. And B-Tap, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row 3, Isaac Sala, Slide Jobs in the 5. And Randall Dixon in the 011. Row number 4, Michael Vitale in the 213. And Dean Reynolds in the 79. Rounding out the top 10, Anthony Morano in the 32. Next to Bob DeGood in the 7. Row 6, the Bird to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and Logan Wentz, the 118. Row 7, it's Harold Klump in the 555, and Scott Rayome in the 444. Row 8, Dylan Kinsey in the number 639 tonight, and Pat Boyce in car 41. Rounding out the grid for tonight's feature, Jason Butterfield in the 93, and Michael Vecchio in the 007. No call on the grid for Isaac Salas, a developing story. I bet you maybe something to do with the VR headset.
Yeah, probably running into some issues with that.
Anyway, picks to win. Who you got?
Well, my family stayed back east. Blake's side of the family, they had all the cojones. They went out west. They took the Oregon Trail, and they took all that talent with them. I'm taking that 20 car.
Good pick. Give me Brandon Templeton in the 31 tonight. All right, we're set for the Lucy Olson start. So we come to green. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? It's time to get it on. Schaefer with the lead, 3 wide for second position. Templeton forces it on the top shelf. Chapman stuck in the sandwich. Schaefer leads the lap. Templeton edged out the 20 for the 2 spot. Now it's Bachman that forces 3 wide yellow. Harold Klump and Pat Boyce get together in turn number 1. So first caution flies of this feature. Let's show you what happened. Ooh, contact with Logan Wentz. Luckily, he's able to save it. But Klump just sends it into Rayom. A nice save from the 444 there.
Yeah, I would say so. All of a sudden, you just, especially if he's running a high force feedback, all of a sudden you got your hands full there. So he's not going to be too happy, but he's going to be happy that he's still racing. Big story there, though. Brandon Templeton was able to beat Blake to the line, so he's going to restart P2 here, Marty.
Absolutely.
And man, he wants that high side. So I think if I was Matt Schaefer, I maybe would have tried to take that away, but he doesn't get the angles that we've seen.
I like the sponsor that Harold Klump has on his car. Dirt Trek Untold. It's a YouTube channel owned by Mandy Pouch Mahaney. Vlogs throughout racing season, on and off race season, including when Mike Mahaney in the Super Dirt Car Series is running at tracks. Definitely recommend checking that out and hitting the subscribe button. All right, set to come back to green. Schaefer and Templeton the front row. Schaefer fires. Here we go. Schaefer, or excuse me, Templeton just about the wall. Chapman in third slams the door in front of Bachman. Let's see if the 007 can counter it back. Templeton with a run out of nowhere and edges out Schaefer for the lead with a 14:59.
Yeah, we're seeing that thing just explode out of turn 4. If you got a big block, you've got to go up there and let it eat. The 31 just laid out the blueprint.
That was a blazing lap, and he continues to run away with it. But as that cushion gets thinner and thinner and gets slicker and slicker, good running next to the wall be an issue, or does it provide high risk, high rewards?
I think it's going to stay there in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, you know, we've seen the high side really struggle. As there he gets into the wall already. I think he'd see much more success if he maybe threw a slider line in 1 and 2. He doesn't need to commit himself to the high side in 1 and 2.
Chapman with a big run off at turn 4 takes away the second spot for Matt Schaefer. Using a play out of Templeton's playbook. Now could he try and use the high side? Hold the thought. We go to yellow for the second time tonight. Michael Vecchio and Harold Klump have crashed. Show you what happened to Vecchio. Contact with Butterfield. Around he goes, just right behind Dylan Kinsey. Nice 360 though from Klump, from Vecchio, excuse me. Give him credit.
Yeah, not a big bump there from Butterfield, but just enough. It was right as Vecchio was starting to crank that car into the corner. It was just enough to send him around. Definitely no malicious intent out of that from the 93, but man, that's not going to make Michael feel any better.
A nice job from Klump to avoid that accident.
He just heard you talking about that podcast. He's driving his little tail off, doing everything right to get that car on the...
Trying to get that sponsorship time.
He's doing a heck of a job.
All right, we'll try this restart once again. Final double file restart of the big blocks. Templeton and Chapman, row number 1. Templeton selects the outside. Bachman, Schaefer, row 2. Vitale, Dixon, row 3. Morano, Reynolds, row 4. Barker to good, round out the top 10. Here we go, back to green. Whoa, 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 head on. Big contact. And somehow no yellow. I don't know, is race control taking a smoke or something? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you know, you got to wonder. We talked about it last week. I remember specifically, I think Isaac got tapped and got into an accident, spun sideways but kept it going. Or no, that was on Monday night in the sprint cars somebody
Yeah.
did. Got sideways, kept it going, and, you know, we see iRacing so
I think
not very.
I think that was Dan McLaren Monday night.
Yeah, it may have been, but it's so inconsistent with the cautions. It's just kind of a head shaker sometimes.
Top three all single file. Schaefer fourth, Vitale in fifth. Dixon and Morano racing for the sixth spot. The 011 with a big run to turn number one, but a challenge for the lead by Chapman meanwhile.
Yeah, you're seeing the high side work real well in 3 and 4, kind of go away in 1 and 2, and that's where the bottom comes in. So Blake's kind of going shot for shot here with Brandon, and Brandon there drove over the cushion in 1 and 2. It's real easy to make a mistake up there.
It was at this point, I believe, in the 358 feature where the low line came in and where Dino was able to take the lead and hold it. This time Templeton switches downstairs. He knows Chapman's a lot better. Now he's trying to pull the aero block maneuver.
Yeah, and now, you know, you're seeing Blake look to the high side. Remember what he told us in that interview? Told said he peeked up high to bait Schatzer into going back up high. Yep, and now he looks to cross over.
Hug on to it as you look at the 5-lap average. Very tight racing. Templeton washes up the hill. Chapman about to get a big run. This is some good racing for the lead, and now Templeton pushes up.
Yeah, and Samuel Bachman's there licking his chops in P3, getting all over the back of both of them. This is what he wants to see, good hard racing up front.
He's thinking, boys, please take each other out.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but that's exactly what he's thinking, Marty. He wants that lead the easiest way he can get it.
Templeton using as much of the cushion as he can. Not the best exit off a turn for like we saw in that second prior restart. That time he got too tight. Chapman's got a chance. Door-to-door off for two for just a moment.
He gets that good run on the bottom coming out of 2. Just can't seem to stick it there in 3 and 4 as you see Brandon clears him. But he'll come right back at him mid-gear.
You see the big exit Templeton gets. And now the leaders are going to approach lap traffic. Wild side by side. This could get interesting. First driver would be Michael Vecchio in the 007. Top 3 drivers all under a blanket. Bachman just about a half second behind B-Temp. Chapman trying everything to gather that bite and hopes that Templeton catches the wall, which he nearly just did in 2.
Yeah, Brandon, he just doesn't have that off switch, man. He always goes for it, and you're seeing how close he's getting in 1 and 2, and we still got 10 to go here. That thing's going to get thinner and thinner every lap.
Riskier and riskier every single time. Look at the 5-lap average for the top 3. Just about solid. These are the 3 best drivers on the track, and they all deserve to battle for the race win. 9 laps to go at Kern Raceway.
Blake gets such a good entry in 1 and 2, but it just dies on exit, and he just watches the 31 drive away. It's so defeating as a driver, but I assure you he's giving it all he can.
You saw, though, Templeton jumped up off of turn number 4. The car was bouncing around. That could have been risky there for the dirt track bank hammer down ride. 7 remaining as they approach Vecchio in the 007. Where does he go, and where do the top 2, maybe top 3 go?
You're exactly right, because Vecchio, you remember, he's in some bad luck there. He got wrecked. He's hoping for a caution, this thing retighten up. He's in no obligation to pull over and get by. He's just got to hold his line. So
this is not
where does he go?
This is not where you want to be if you're either Templeton or Blake Chapman. Especially when battling for the win.
But it's exactly where you want to be if you're that 007, because you got in the wall, those leaders ran away from you a little bit. You need this lap traffic to slow them down. You need something to make it interesting.
5 laps to go for B-Temp and the Salesman. Chapman looking for win 3 on the season. Templeton looking for win 1 in the 358. Vecchio holds up Templeton. Now the 007 gets out of the way to let the top two battle for it. There's still more lap traffic ahead with 3 to go and Bob the Good.
Yeah, you know, some people get a little bit nervous there. They see the leader coming in the mirror, and I think that's what happened. He floated up by accident, realized he made a mistake, got the heck out of the way, make sure he didn't make Brandon pay for it.
Man, Chapman nearly popped the ending of that wall. That could have been disastrous. 2 laps remaining. Nearly a bad exit for Templeton. Chapman setting things up for the race leadoff for 2, but Templeton clears.
Templeton lightly tapped the wall there going down the front stretch, and that really messed up his entrance in the corner, and man, that's got him off a little bit here on the white flag.
Let's see if Chapman maybe sets up the slide job off for turn number 2 for the final time. Brandon Templeton, Blake Chapman, the 31's able to clear. Does he play defense? Yes, he does for right now. Blake trying to get on the gas first off for turn number 4. Templeton takes the win. Chapman 2nd, Bachman 3rd, Schaefer 4th, Reynolds 5th. Biggest mover tonight, Scott Rayome and Dylan Kinsey, each up 6.
Well done. 2 cautions. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's all we had. What a show.
I think they knew the virtual race director up in the tower wanted to take a smoke break, and so that's the case.
Always got to love those.
Templeton with the win. Blake Chapman 2nd, Sam Bachman 3rd, Matt Schaefer 4th, Dean Reynolds, Anthony Morano each up 3 spots tonight. Scott Rayome, Dylan Kinsey, as I mentioned, each up 6. As we look at the rest of the field here, nice, not bad of a run from Michael Vecchio. Tough luck though, starting 18th up to 14th. Salas missed the race tonight. Hey, by the way, Zach, real quick, who did I pick to win?
Yeah. 2 for 2 tonight.
Hey, you got a chance to be 2 for 2.
I know.
Once I back out.
Yeah, once you leave, because Travis won't be here for at the beginning, so no matter what, I win race 1 is what I'm going to tell myself.
All righty. Let's have you take 3rd place here, and then I'll take the top 2 so you can get set up for late models.
Appreciate that, Marty. Hey, Sam, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, double podium tonight, so that's a cool deal, but I got to tell you, there was a little bit where you were reeling those guys in. I thought you were going to have something for them, but then it looked like you tagged the front stretch wall. Did it damage the car at all?
Yeah, it definitely made it feel a little different. I think that was probably a big killer on it, and I think those guys had big blocks. I had a 358, so they had a little more power on the exit, and that was kind of killer.
Okay, so yeah, that's definitely, man, that was all the more impressive that you were running those guys down for a little bit. But yeah, as the track kept widening, you really needed that motor if you were going to go up top. But if you could do it over again, would you have chose the big block?
I guess I don't know. I feel like the 358 was pretty good. Me getting in the wall kind of screwed myself a little bit, and I felt like I possibly could have had a chance to win it because I was catching them pretty good.
Well, hey, man, like I said, double podium tonight so far. That's awesome. Congratulations on that. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, all the boys over at FTM, Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop, and you guys for putting this all on.
Well, awesome, Sam. We going to see you in the late model race here next?
Maybe.
All righty, man. Well, if not, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here soon. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Sam Bachman gets it done, finishing in 3rd. Blake's going to get set up for the late model race here in just a moment. Let's talk with Blake Chapman, our 2nd place finisher. Blake, it's got to be tough as a driver where you're doing so well running the low line, and Brandon's just getting so much good exits where he's nearly clipping the wall.
Yeah, it's definitely a little frustrating. I mean, he just had that extra momentum there and that extra horsepower coming off the corner in those big blocks. And the small block I was running, I felt really good through the middle, but he was just killing me off those corners. So I don't know. I thought I had a really good chance of winning this thing after that heat race. I felt really, really good. I felt like this car was really tuned in. But yeah, he just Brandon had just a little bit of a faster car than me tonight.
So you were running a small block as well. I see that a lot in real life at Weedsport. I don't know how long the track is at Kern Raceway, but I know at Weedsport in real life, some drivers take the option of either a big block or a 358, and you can do it here as well in real life, and he chose the 358. Why does that work? Explain to the viewers at home, why does that work compared to maybe racing a big block?
Well, it seems like to me, at least in the big block, the way I like to drive them, sometimes on these shorter tracks, I just get on the gas a little too much and the tires spin more than a small block. And if the track's small and it's going to slick off quicker, then not spinning the tires is obviously ideal. So having the 358 will get you a little bit more traction, and it's overall better. But it's always a difficult choice, running these or the big blocks, having to choose between the two because you just don't know how the track's going to come in, how many cars you're going to have, and it's a tough decision. But I think I made the right decision tonight.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
Yeah, I got to thank Mom and Dad for watching. I got to thank the guys at the Kreiz Sim Racing team. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Reps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations. I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You guys know all about that. You can head over to their website and use code CART at checkout for 15% off some of their very delicious popcorn. And I got to thank you guys for putting this broadcast on.
Alrighty, man. We'll let you go. Great job tonight. Best luck in the late model.
Thanks, Marty.
So the salesman taking P2, and we'll go to victory lane. I did not jinx him this time. Brandon Templeton getting the job done. Man, oh man, I thought Blake was going to give you a run for your money tonight there. However, though, the high side you were running was just flawless from our perspective.
Yeah, I felt like Blake was a little faster than me. I kept seeing him peeking under me, but then on exit, halfway down the straightaway, I'd just be gapping him. So just stuck with it and figured if he's going to make it happen, he's going to have to throw a slider or make it, somewhere else. Maybe a new line would come in. That's what I was afraid of, but held on, and hats off to him and everyone in the league. That was a lot of green flag laps for a very, very tight, tough track, and big blocks bounced around. So good job to everybody.
Were you running tonight a big block or a 358?
I was in a big block.
All right, so that kind of explains as well why you're getting the big advantage on corner exit as well, because I'll tell you this, both Blake and Sam, they were running 358s tonight.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I found on the practice late in the warm-up, I threw it around the outside right up in the cushion, and my lap time was just about the same as when I was down low. So, just start the race. My plan was just as long as Blake, who was outside front row, as long as he left me a big gap on the outside, I was planning on just sending her in turn one, and that's probably the move that won it because I was able to at least get up beside him.
Did you feel like you had any close calls with the wall throughout the night?
Oh, definitely. I think I touched it, once or twice at least, and it was that turn one, you had to throw it in there, and then you just basically wait and pray and just hope that it catches something before it gets to the wall.
Well, a great win for you tonight, man. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to thank Jay with the Dirt Track Bank, Malvern Bank. I got to thank Got Your Six Racing Network, Hammer Down Racing Team, Extreme Images, Maley's Makery, Hogan Lawn and Landscaping. You guys for doing the stream. It's fun to watch back. Everybody that helps out with the league, and just everybody that's out here, racing with us. It's a lot of fun, and for the most part, everyone's out here just having a clean, good time. Thanks.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go. Congratulations, a great win for you, your first big block win of the season. All right, Brandon Templeton gets the job done here. And just a reminder for those watching on Slide Job Racing Network, we're going to say goodbye for the night. And Zach will be taking over on Coast to Coast Racing Network for late models, as well as the Xfinity Series Trail. You will see a delay for about a second or so, a little bit of loading response time. Once we end on my end, Zach will start up on his end, and we'll be good to go. So until then, for everyone at Slide Job Racing Network, on behalf of my broadcast partner, Zach Chapman, I'm Marty Sakala saying so long. Your winners and modified, Steen Reynolds and Brandon Templeton. Stay tuned, late models up next.